Hi everyone. It is still the fabulous month of February, and we are here with the second video in the anime hair color challenge. This is the hair color black, and the first character you'll see is the female choice, who is Misaki Ayuzawa from Kaicho Maid-sama. If you haven't watched this anime yet, it's another romance anime, I guess you could say. Kind of a slow progressing one, but it's very endearing, very cute. Some inspiration from the show that you see in the image. There wasn't a whole lot. I mainly just kept her face, and then since she was the Empress, I wanted to do kind of a fancy dress. Since her eyes are like yellowish orange and her hair is black, I decided to make her dress green. That way it'd stand out from the wheat in the background and the chair that she's going to be sitting in. And then I made some of the jewels blue to kind of contrast that color of her eyes a little bit, make them pop. So not very much inspiration from the show itself, other than kind of her cute little hairstyle that she has when she's a maid. Outside inspiration, I guess you could say, from some of the newer Duchess or royal family dresses that I've seen. Lots of lovely pearls and lace. They're kind of showing off more of the shoulder. And then she's got the nice black satin gloves. And then the scepter, I think, was really fun. It was kind of bringing out that blue, beautiful blue, kind of crystal look of the glass orbs in the scepter. I thought that was really great and stood out great with her. I kept pretty close to the rider weight deck description. So we've got the wheat. She's surrounded by wheat. She's sitting on a throne. She has a scepter. The Empress is pretty informal, I guess you could say, while still being very intricate. So I kind of went all out with the decorations on this one. Pros of this image. I think that the color format turned out really good. You can see that there were quite a few things that I made pop out. Her eyes kind of matched some of the wheat in the background, but then the greens and the blues kind of pulled her forward. And then, of course, her black shiny hair stands out and looks very good against pretty much the whole thing. Cons of the image, I think that the dress got a little muddy. It could have been more brilliant, a little less washed out. But other than that, I was pretty happy with this image, honestly. I feel like the color palette and choices were great. I feel like the way she was seated was very natural. I don't know. And I felt like I kept her face pretty close to what it was in the anime. I felt pretty good about this overall image. There were a few little things here and there that kind of stuck out. One of her eyes was kind of a little sharper instead of rounded at the top, and then the top of the scepter looked a little skewed and tilted, which was kind of weird, but overall the image looked really pretty, really pretty. I was happy with it. And the background just kind of pushes everything forward. It's very bland and yet colorful at the same time. So I'm happy with this image. It was really fun to do Misaki. If you haven't watched the anime, you need to go check it out. And this is the final image. So the next character for this video is going to be the male choice. This is Luka Crosszeria from Uraboku, or The Betrayal Knows My Name. I wasn't really happy with the anime adaptation of this series. To be honest, I read the manga first on this one as well. The manga's still not finished. But they went ahead and finished the anime, and I wasn't super happy with the quality, but it was okay. It was fine. It was nice to see it in action. He's kind of a very strong character, so that's why I picked him as strength. So he has to overcome many hardships in the series, and I think that that in itself shows how strong he is, as well as his portrayal as just a strong character. If you're not familiar with the series, I suggest the manga over the anime because the manga is much more action packed. You're going to get some great action sequences. There's a lot of fighting and weapons and just some nice, good quality, heartwarming friendships. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out. I suggest the manga over the anime, but whatever you want to do. So some inside inspiration from the show. I've got Sodom. So Luka Crosszeria is actually a Durus or a demon, and Sodom is this dragon that is kind of like his right hand. In the anime, they portray him as a wolf, and then he has a chibi form. And then in the manga, he's actually a big ass dragon that gets summoned. And then he also has this cute little human form too, which I think is kind of weird. So I decided to do kind of a mixture of the wolf form from the anime and the dragon from the manga. So that's kind of where Sodom comes in. And then you have the roses, which Hotaru Odagiri, who is the author and illustrator. If you're not familiar with that art, you need to go check that out. The mangaka does just fabulous things with roses. It's just beautiful, the display. So since the strength card has flowers in it normally, I chose roses to go along because that's part of one of the visual aspects of the story. Outside inspiration, I really didn't take much outside inspiration, honestly. His costume was actually inspired, I guess, by another manga that I've been reading. But it's not important. We won't say anything about that. Pros of this image, it took me a lot... Pros are, it's beautiful. That's all I'm going to say. It looks great. Cons, it took me a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. But I was super happy with it in the end. There's a few things in the image, like the roses, that didn't turn out the way I wanted. But that's life. That's the way it goes. The roses kind of ended up muddy and weird looking, and then I added a weird white layer on top of them, and it just made them stand out, but not in a good way. So that was one thing that I wasn't super happy with. But, oh well, overall, I mean, he looks beautiful. It's fantastic. I feel like it mirrors his image very well from what I've seen, so I'm happy with it. And this is going to be the final image here. So, bask in the glory. See you guys later.